All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. We are back at Brooklyn Museum. Yeah, if you're wondering why I'm cheesing so hard, it's because I was able to have a very tranquil bowel movement. For anyone that's interested, Brooklyn Museum has this very well manicured lawn. The only way you get up there is if you know how to climb and explore and you're not afraid to do the damn thing. But oh my god, the grass, the lawn, everything was tranquil. All of that aside to say that it's very windy out here. And I noticed because of the infrastructure, right? So it's like you got all this open space. Anytime you have a lot of open space and a large building or a tall structure, you tend to feel or hear more of the wind. The wind will come into a space like this and whip around, right? So if the audio is not clear at any point throughout this video, just note that I might end up dubbing over it. If I don't, yada, yada, yada. I went through the trouble. If it wasn't honestly for these junk, if I didn't have this junk tool, and I love, like, that's why I love a product that's well designed, well developed, like well thought out, you know? So when I look at this junk Elkey, you know, it's basically really what they have done is they have just put some sort of rubber, some sort of latex or rubberized piece on top of some sort of basic standard Elkey or hex key, I think, as they're technically known, right? But you know, here it says speed in, what does it say? Speed engineered, I think. I can't fucking read it with the flash. The other side, it says Go Skate. It says junkskates.com, made in USA. But the key component is this right here, where it says 4 millimeters. Now, because I'm at home and I didn't even sit down and measure. I just looked at that, and once I saw 4 millimeters, I knew that the other one that I had was probably 5 millimeters. And I said, it must be that I need one in between those two sizes. Fast forward to today, I'm in Home Depot trying to figure out what fucking tool to get. And I've noticed that Home Depot has a lot of, I don't want to say generic, but they have a lot of standard items. And your atypical items that you might need may need to be either special or custom ordered. But what I've also found from history, from just past experience, is that if you go to your local hardware store, that's your mom and pop hardware store, chances are much higher that they have tools in every size specification. And I'm hoping that I got the right tool, because I got 2 of them. But I noticed that Home Depot sells these packs. You know, everything's marketing and capitalism, right? So they have these basic standalone packs that, you know, for the ordinary person, right? You're talking Chelsea, 23rd Street, Manhattan. Everybody isn't going in there as a laborer or a construction worker or someone in the building and construction fields, right? Or the AEC fields, the architecture, engineering, and construction fields. So I did my due diligence and a little reconnaissance, looked at the products, and then I noticed they had another product, same Husky brand, that was actually in the half sizes, right? So the standard one they sell to the general public comes, you know, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to maybe 8 millimeters. And then if you wanted the 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 millimeter, no different than shoe sizing, right? Which is very difficult to find in the skate community. You'd be hard pressed to find a skate size since K2, and honestly, Rollerblade has done, I think, one of the best jobs in terms of longevity and in terms of creating shoe sizes, skate sizes that suit the half size foot. But since Salomon and K2 really have pulled out of the aggressive market, in my opinion, those were some of the best designed products for half sizes. And we shall test this out now. I don't know if you can see these little tiny letterings or numbers here, but actually no, maybe red is the wrong one. I think maybe I need to use the green. You know, so this one is known as SAE. And then let me see the other one. The other one is the green, which is millimeter. I guess they're both hex. But what I'm looking for is the 4.5, which is the middle one here. The standard tools that we use on our skates is 4. So let's see how this 4.5 works. I'm hoping that I get, what do you know? 4.5 works, but getting the torque. Oh wait, I'm getting some torque. I got it. All right, so since I've got lift off, I'm gonna put the camera down, get the other tool out, and go to work. All right, so we got some. Got some action. Let's see what this is. This is all green. I need 2 green. Alright, so this is what we're looking at here for the hardware. It's very easy for it to fall into this grate right directly below. So I'm actually going to switch positions. So that's the bottom. Once you loosen them up, they start coming out very easily. Oh, fuck. That's the middle. All right, there you have it. We have lift off where we can go up and down. So we're gonna go down, but this is not gonna move until I get the other 4. I mean, I could force it into the other slot. Now that's interesting. I can actually have a rail that goes wavy. I literally can make a wavy rail by putting this one low, the second one high. Here's what I can basically do, but these screws might eventually warp and break, is that I can have the 2 ends of the rail lower so that the rail is like a hump. But it means I have to really force this down. See all of that? So I think I'll hold off on forcing it for now and move on to, then there's this in the middle. Do I want to force the entire thing down, or do I just want to lower the whole rail? Let's think about this. I don't think I want a humpy rail or a wavy rail where it goes, let me see, low. How would that even look? Low, so it would go up, down, and then up. I wonder. All right, let's try this one. Ultimately, I'm going to lower them all. But let's see what would happen on this point here. Not even sure if you guys can see what I'm doing. I should note that when I first used an L-key on this rail, it was a Sonic tool, because I believe there's a Sonic tool that has the 4mm, 4.5, and then something else on the other end. But I need to, and that tool was a lot easier to grip for something of this, you know, something of this nature. Oh, so it's actually 3 pieces. It's a cylinder, and then it's 2 nuts on either end, which gives me some ideas for future of skating products. Yeah, this would be really difficult to lower, so I have to lower them all. Yeah, it's next to impossible to lower the middle without lowering the other side. So, but yeah, that's a close-up. So it's actually a cylinder, and then it's two separate ends. This one has only got 2 screws. All right, now the rail, oh, see that? The rail is falling on its own weight now that the other 2 are done. Shit, this camera's wet. And what's happening is that it's getting misaligned. It's actually coming out. So I have to pull this back into the socket. I have to like lift here and heave. Ugh. I'm pretty sure once I loosen this one, it'll kind of come back to where it needs to be. And this one is also missing a screw or a nut. Having some trouble. this next one might be a little tricky because all of the weight is on this last one. So let's back you guys up a little bit, see what we got here. All right. Mission is mostly accomplished. I don't know if I made this any better or any worse, but yeah, this rail now stands. Sheesh. It's below, oh man, it's so tiny now. It's so amazing. I can actually shifted it too far. This is a very interesting architecture. You see, to me, this is the type of stuff that that matters. The details that you can't find anywhere else, right? So this might be a common architectural piece of, what this would be ornamental steel, handrails, things like that. They fall under, I think, ornamental steel. But in architecture, much like fashion, much like skating and other industries, you have standards. And then you have the atypical, right? So maybe the adapt skate or the custom skate that's going to cost you $2,000-$3,000 is the skate that you only get. You know, it's like like this rail may or may not be, let's say the Maserati, or I wouldn't go so far as to say the Bentley of handrails, but it's probably along the lines of like the Audi or the Maserati of handrails. I'm sure there's higher end structural details and architectural rails that maybe move without you having to do the screws, but because it's a public space, this is what we're dealing with. So yeah, you can literally shift the entire rail out of place just like that. So now it's time to just get these screws back in. Make sure it's lined up. I don't know why I didn't bring the proper hat. Oh my God! If you know what it's like to put your bearing, your frame screws in, this is exactly what I'm dealing with here. Oh, and I need another tool. Oh my God, this is gonna be annoying. Getting these holes to line up exactly. Fuck. It is almost exactly like, oh, I see why those two are missing screws. When you lower it, it looks like you end up losing one of the screw parts. I think I fucked up. I have to do them like gently and not tighten them all the way. So there's wiggle room, you know? Yep. Talk about putting a puzzle together, or taking one apart and then putting it back together. This is almost exactly like the headache you get with, I would say specifically Create Original frames. I feel like those frames are a fucking nightmare. Don't get me wrong, they're amazing frames. I love them to death, but putting in the spacers, getting them to align, and like the bearings, something about Create Originals are they're just designed with so much precision that there's like very little room for error. Oh, don't tell me this screw's stripped. Fuck. Something seems stripped. And this is another area of thought that I have with regards to power tools. I feel like with power tools, I might be able to fly through this process easier. But I think with power tools, the chances of me damaging or stripping screws or misaligning them and ruining the infrastructure are that much higher, right? Because little errors that I make with my hands, almost like a sculptor or an artisan, you know, like a blacksmith, I can feel what I'm doing with my hands, as opposed to working with a power tool. You can very rarely feel the subtle differences of, let's say, you know, you're talking 3/32 of a millimeter or a fraction of an inch, where you're like, is that it? Is that not it? So this thing needs to like lift up and come this way, it looks like. So it needs to go up and forward a bit. So I gotta loosen this up some more. Talk about a picnic. Alright, I'm gonna come back to this bottom one here. This one's a lot of work. What we're gonna do is tighten the top. All right, we'll tighten the top and we'll move on. Oy vey, because I think maybe if the other holes aren't lined up, then I'm in for, yeah, this one, I don't even fucking see the holes on this one. Holy shit, where are they? Maybe when it's lowered, maybe that's the problem, when it's lowered. Fuck, you don't see the hole. Okay, I see the holes now. Okay, so it doesn't go all the way down. So this is a little tricky. I think what I'll do is I'll raise it where it needs to be. Try to set them. This is some precision shit. Alright, this is some high precision shit that's gonna take some time. My back hurts. Basically, I need to lift this up, loosen this screw, and I need to shift this ever so slightly in that direction. Oh, before I continue. The alternative is that I just fucking leave this with one screw at the top. It means it's not going to have one in the middle at all. It's not going to have any in the middle at all. And then maybe I just do the bottom here. Let me see, will it line up? Let's just see if I can get the bottom to line up. Right now, I'm more concerned with just lowering the rail and doing it as quickly as possible. Let me get my tools. Let's get this one in. Yeah, this isn't quite lining up. This needs to shift backwards. There it is. All right, that's good. At least I got the bottom one in. So what you'll see is that there's none at the top on all of them, and there's a little bit of room where I can get my finger in here. You'll see that this one, there is no room for my finger to fit. Same here. And same here. So I will pick up the loose pieces for now, because I think right now, as it stands, we have a much lower handrail, right? So this is your before. And this is your after. I would really like one in here, but again, it's just so I can get a few trays, to be honest, you know, so. Don't really want to spend all day, all night trying to make this thing possible. All right, we ninjas, right? Allegedly, we ninjas, but we on camera, and we got a YouTube channel showing you how to be ninjas and hopefully not get in trouble. All right, let me just tighten these up. Tighten. Sheesh. All right, now that I know how it works, I think if I had to lower this again or raise it, I might be inclined to bring a power tool or two, but that's just some food for thought. I don't know if I want to carry all that stuff. And since we're on that subject matter, I think I'm gonna crack open a brewski, which I have not honestly drank. I can't recall the last time I had a beer. I feel like it's more than a week. It's definitely been more than a week. I've been having cigarettes, dabbling here and there. No hard drugs, no marijuana, but tobacco. My vape pen died and I haven't really hit it since. So I don't know, we'll see. Tools go in here. is this? More tools. You know, I'm not really sure what this fucking tool is. I'm curious. Let me just check real quick. I'm curious if this SAE tool actually works. Because I feel like it's the same concept. Actually, you know what? This SAE tool also works. I don't know what the fuck the difference is between this and the others. I'll have to do some research on that. But they both fit. I feel like this actually fits more snug and it's probably better designed. So I went with the green when I probably should have been using the red. So just more food for thought. And we got this. Power by 50, goddammit, I think I made it. It's one of my favorite brewskis. I want to say, I might be wrong, but I want to say Kiki put me onto this. And if it wasn't Kiki, it wasn't Sam, it wasn't Black Sam, it was definitely Kiki. I must say it was Kiki. This is 22 fluid ounces, and this is a 20-ounce container. Where you going, camera? All right, we're at the 33-minute mark, and I'm gonna bust a piss. Just take another look at my handiwork. It clearly wobbles a bit in the middle, but as heavy as this is, oh shit, the middle actually can come up like fucking high. But ain't nobody got time for that. It actually could fucking pinch your fingers and like slice them, to be honest with you. If you were so inclined to pick this rail up, you could lose an appendage. You could lose a finger. But why would you do that?